Prepare for more downside. Morning, YouTube. Louie here, and welcome to the weekend. We've had some real slippage in the gold and silver market, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts. This is going to be a quick video because obviously what's happening is not good. Let me start by looking at the GSR. This is the 5-year GSR in front of you. There we go. Now, as you know, a couple of years ago in May of 2020, we had a total market meltdown. We had the stock market crashing, and we had gold and silver declining rapidly as well. So at that time, we hit pretty near 120 GSR. Now, I have been saying for months now that I thought 80 would hold, and over here around 80 as gold was increasing, that 80 held pretty well, and silver was performing respectively. But we have a change in the market here that I guess I should have predicted but did not. I think this goes back to the stock market. And this, I don't think, has much to do with the desirability of gold. It's highly desirable in our world. I don't think it has much to do with the desirability of silver. I think silver is where I want to have, most of my money compared to gold. But I think it has to do with the stock market. So let me hold on one second. This is not a happy picture, but I'm just going to point out what I think is happening. The bar chart is the Dow Jones, okay, the DIA in this case. And back in March of 2020, when COVID hit, we had that dramatic smackdown. What was it, to about 20,000 on the Dow? 18, 20,000, something like that. And as you see back then, I can't make this much bigger, but we had silver dropped lockstep with the market, and gold declined as well. Okay, but gold's decline was not as severe as silver because everybody would just cash in all their dollars and go buy gold, obviously. It is the more stable of the two metals. Now, I have been predicting for some time now that the stock market was about to roll over, and in fact it did roll over. The Dow is down, let's see, about 20%, not quite 20% yet, but you can see how much further there is to drop on the Dow Jones. I mean, we have come from whatever 18,000 up to 33,000, 36,000, 33,000. So it seems to me there is an inevitable crash coming in the stock market, in the Dow and the S&P. And of course, if you were in the NASDAQ, you're already feeling that pain. All the bellwether tech giants are being taken out and shot. And, with the Fed not blinking here, proceeding with raising rates into what will clearly be a recession when we have the next GDP quote print. So the recession is coming. The Fed is raising rates, and the Fed put has disappeared. You guys know what that is. We all, I think, thought that Powell would reverse maybe a little sooner than he has not. I think what we're faced with is a setup for another liquidity crisis, and I think silver, which was participating in somewhat of a commodity rally. Of course, commodities are all starting to roll over, if you haven't heard that yet, with the exception of oil. Okay, oil remains strong, but most commodities are rolling over. And if you're in commodities, now would be a good time to get the heck out. Silver is rolling over with the commodities, but I think it is also silver is the orange line here. I think it is also predicting another liquidity crisis. The GSR over 80, pushing back into the high 80s and threatening to go back to 120, tells me that we're going to have another spike down. And gold recently gave up its bull trend. short-term bull trend the other day, kind of surprising everyone. So I think when we look at this chart in a month or so, we will see the stock market much lower, maybe 20% lower. We will see silver spot price much lower, and we will see gold price somewhat lower. That is what I'm predicting, and it's hard to turn from a bull to a bear here overnight. But I have said all along that liquidity is can drive these prices down. It'll be artificial. It'll probably be short-lived. And when we get down, if we do have the event of the market and the metals crashing, of course, crypto is ahead of everything and headed much, much lower, if you haven't figured that out yet. But here we are, silver gold, participating in the liquidity meltdown. So what I'm doing to prepare for that, I'm raising cash. Okay, the last time that we had the dip down to $12, if you were going to buy, you had to buy in the first hour or two, and people cleaned out the shelves. Okay, that's what happened. All the inventory in the major retailers, it took them a while to reprice it, and some people just cleaned them out of the physical when we had the big dip. Most of us were in shock and awe and amazement that such a thing could even happen, because of course physical is rock solid and valuable, regardless of what the fiat price is. But yet it did happen, and those that acted quickly near the bottom or at the bottom walked away with the prize. So I would tell you that is to watch for the spike down, and I think you'll know when it's happening. I don't know that I would pick the first spike down, but if you see a couple of $3 down days, you may want to start acting when we get to those very low prices to pick up as much bullion as you can from the online retailers. I doubt your LCS will sell you any. Okay, so that is what I would do on the physical side. On the stock market side, if we get another drop like this, I am also raising cash to buy call options on the SLV. And I would buy leaps. I would buy them out 9 months to a year, and I would not look at it, okay, for a couple of months to see if, hopefully the recovery would happen. So, and of course, if you're sitting in cash on the sidelines with your 401k or whatever, when we get the Dow down another 20% or so, maybe 30%. Of course, then you could redeploy those assets in the stock market. This is where the money was made down here, all right? And this is where some big purchases were made, and then you saw, what happened next. And I think it's going to repeat. I think it's absolutely going to repeat. When will the economy reverse? When will the stock market reverse back up? Well, we've got to get through a few months of recession here, and assuming the wheels don't fall completely off the bus and, we go Mad Max, we're going to see a restoration of the bull market out in 6 months, 9 months. I can't really predict. But see, in the stock market, what was obvious was all the comps were going to be very difficult to make, because we had that resurgence. If you're looking at the Dow here, we had that resurgence in EPS, and they were all comping COVID lows, and everything was expanding like, that would keep on forever. But now the consumer is tight on money, the housing market is rolling over, and the comps are impossible to make. And that's why we're dropping in the face of inflation. You could call it stagflation if you want. I don't know what the technical description of what's happening right now is. But at some point, these low comps that we're having right now will get to the next couple of quarters, and we'll move back into a bull market, I think. And then we can have the recovery. So I think we are headed here for a few months in purgatory. I think the prices are going to decline further, and for that reason, I'm not buying at the moment. Okay, although I'm really tempted to. If you've noticed, kilo bars and 100-ounce bars are getting those $2 premiums now. Eagles are coming down, and you're going to see everything go on sale. You're going to see those premiums evaporate. You're going to see the LCS bring down their buy prices. And you're going to see people selling their silver. I don't know that they'll sell their gold yet, but some people are going to start doing that. So the prognostication is we've got a few months of negative territory here. We've broken the charts. The economy is broken. The housing market is about to break. Bonds are breaking. It just doesn't look good. So that's why I believe you should raise cash and wait for a better opportunity. Okay, I don't usually stop dollar cost averaging into the silver market, but that is what I am going to do. I'm waiting for the liquidity event. And if you don't see that happening in the Dow right here, then you're extremely optimistic about the stock market. And we are just early in this move. We're just getting going. So, in my opinion, okay, I could always be wrong, and the Fed could reverse course, and he could start printing again. We could move into hyperinflation. We could get the crack up boom. All of that could happen tomorrow, but it doesn't look like it. All right, that's my somber news for the weekend. I hate making this video, but I am not selling a single ounce of bullion. I continue to sell collector coins and such that have appreciated, but I'm not selling a single ounce of bullion. I don't think anybody should sell their physical stack right here, silver or gold. I may trade, as I said before, some gold for silver up at 88. I mean, God, that's a no-brainer. But we could be headed higher, and the GSR tells you there is a liquidity problem, in my opinion. All right, guys, I'd love to know your thoughts. What are you doing? How are you preparing? Or are you just turning off everything and waiting for what's going to come next? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you soon.